10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Is brought to you by Lloyd's Construction and Consulting, providing first-class construction services on 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it.
All right. Let's do it. Let's do some sports concepts and rationalizations right now.
Let's get it on.
I got one more fantasy question I'm going to throw your way, Jeff
Sure.
Rosser.
You bet. I'm an expert.
Dr. Fantasy, they
Thank
call
you. Still looking after, I don't know, it's like my 25th year in the league, still looking for that first league crown.
The elusive title.
I won it my first year
Did you? Yeah,
in that league.
I remember.
The young
Had
upstart.
a lot of deep runs. I've pocketed a lot of cash through the years.
That's
never
all that
won it all.
matters. This is my question.
Uh-huh.
You get what? You have to take a running back. Who are you taking?
Well, I'm not going to tell you who I'm taking right now. I got the whole doggone league listening to me.
You have to take a running back. Who's the first running back?
Oh,
you're
you mean at the top of the draft?
Yes. Which
That's
won't be
that's
there.
a question that's giving a lot of headaches to people because if you blow that number one pick, like last year, a lot of people took the top two running backs last year, almost every draft, were Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey. How'd that work for you?
Yeah.
You know? And so I think it's a roll of the dice. I don't think there's one who's – the answer is McCaffrey if he's healthy. He's by far the most productive of all these great backs. He has outproduced all of them by a mile. But are you going to get that same without Cam Newton, without that style of offense? What changes will there be? But when it comes to fantasy production, no one matches Christian McCaffrey.
All right.
But
so you'd roll the dice on him?
But he's coming off that injury. But then again, I mean, Dalvin Cook's not afraid to get banged up here or there.
Okay, you take him second? Who would you take
Yeah,
second?
I would take this. I would, and the correct answer may not be him. The guy who always shows up fourth or fifth and doesn't get the due because he's maybe a better football player than he is fantasy is Derrick Henry.
That's who I was.
Yeah, you're waiting on me to
waiting
say
on.
that. I get that.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you take him?
I would take Henry third. I would take him over Saquon. And Kamara should be the pick, but one year I took Kamara high was the one year he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And, buddy, when you get burned by a guy as a fantasy owner, you hardly ever go back to him.
So I would take Derrick Henry over
First,
any of them.
Yeah. Well, you got to go by fantasy
now, there is one
points.
Okay, but he had 2,000 yards.
But he didn't have the most fantasy
he
points.
He had 17 touchdowns.
He did not have the most fantasy points.
Who had more?
I'm going to tell you.
Dalvin Cook?
I can literally go to my franchise a year ago and tell you exactly who.
Yeah. I guess it depends on how you score, too, but if you're just giving me yards and touchdowns.
Well, it's yards, it's
catches.
touchdowns, it's catch. He doesn't catch.
No, he only has 20 catches a year.
Yeah. All right, let's see and this
That's
is
not bad.
No, that's when he's top. It's not like you see him out of the top 10.
I think the history of guys coming off 2,000-yard seasons is not good. That's one thing to keep in mind. However, I'd much rather roll with Derrick Henry, who's gone into the end zone double-digit times in each of the last 3 years, than take a Saquon Barkley bouncing back or Christian McCaffrey or Dalvin Cook, because when I think of those guys, they're always hurt. And that's probably unfair. They're probably not always hurt. But I know this. Henry the last 3 years, 16, 15, 16. They probably sat him in that 15.
Henry last year had the most.
Well, I think he's disrespected in fantasy then. If he had the most last year.
I'm looking at running back.
Then yeah.
They're not giving it to me in order, though, so I'm saying he has the most, but I'm.
Mm-hmm.
What is this? I'm not getting the whole league here.
It's a disaster.
It is a disaster. I mean, what?
I just asked a simple question.
Yeah, I know. I don't Oh, wait. There we go. This will do it. This will tell you. Mm-hmm. Last year, Alvin Kamara had the most fantasy points among running backs with 338. Derrick Henry had 325. Dalvin Cook had 317. And then there was a huge drop-off. But that's an area where we would have normally seen McCaffrey.
So it wouldn't have mattered. Any of those three would have been fine.
Any of those three would have been pretty much the same guy. Kamara, though, just a little bit better. But it was a huge drop-off from Dalvin Cook third. You wouldn't be able to guess who the fourth best fantasy running back was last year.
It's amazing because Alvin Kamara rushed for half of what Derrick Henry rushed
but
for.
He
did get he had that 5-touchdown game, didn't he?
Yeah, and he catches the ball. I mean, you get half a
catches.
point. So that's another 40 points. So just from those catches, the catch difference is the difference.
Yeah.
Forget the touchdowns, the yards, any of that. Even the receiving yards, just the catch itself.
Yeah.
Gets you half a point in a fantasy league. So
Gotcha.
80 catches, and Henry had 20, so that's 30 more points, which puts him is what makes the difference. But it was Kamara, Henry, and then Cook. The fourth most productive by fantasy numbers, David Montgomery.
Huh?
Fifth, Aaron Jones. Sixth, Jonathan Taylor. Seventh,
James Robinson.
just before Josh Jacobs and Nick Chubb,
Jimmy Robinson.
James Robinson.
Anyway, I was just curious.
Yeah, interesting. Which Major League Baseball fan base is gripping more this morning? Okay? I know what the answer is going to be because they're tried and true and passionate, but I would almost argue that the other is becoming, with every passing day, the more miserable failure.
Okay.
Which of these two fan bases gripping the hardest today? The Red Sox or the Padres?
Oh, Red Sox.
Because they just lost to the Yankees, they've blown a lead?
Yeah.
There is no more embarrassment to sport right now than the San Diego Padres and what they're doing. They
have the hardest schedule left, by the way.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch them fail. I love to watch Johnny Come Knockdoor spend $1 trillion and think that he can just cobble together a championship.
Yeah.
I would love nothing more than to see the Padres and their, all the flash and all the attention. I'd like to see them just take a pass on the postseason, which is what they seem to be intent on doing. There's the Padres in their last 7 games, Dan, against the Marlins, Diamondbacks, and Rockies are now 1-6. And I would suggest to you that you're going to miserably fail and watch the Cardinals and the Reds and the second-place team in the East pass you because of that schedule that you mentioned.
Yeah, it's tough.
And by the way, they had 3 left against one of those bottom teams. Guess who it was?
Ooh.
The team they're getting swept by right now.
Wow. That's
Although,
not
no, the
good.
Rockies were one of the half teams. At home, they're a better team. But bottom line, they just lost 3. They lost a finale against the Marlins.
They're 1 in their last 6.
And then they lost, right. They're 1-6. They lost 6 out of 7. It's not just the loss. That wasn't the Giants and Dodgers, Dan.
No.
That's the
They have the Phillies, the Dodgers, at Arizona, but then Houston, the Angels, the Dodgers, the Giants, St. Louis, the Giants.
yeah, they're not going.
Oh, they got the Dodgers and Giants all over the place.
Yeah, and those teams are much better than them. They're
Atlanta, too. 3 with Atlanta.
And I finished another game that the Braves trail.
So,
So I think the Padres is what the answer is. The Red Sox surprised to jump out like they did. We weren't predicting the Red
Correct.
Sox to be great. The Padres were,
Yeah.
the Padres were arriving. They went and bought another $100 million, worth of talent, and they're falling apart.
they are falling
Still
apart.
plus 85 in the run differential, though,
must
which
have
is
been-
basically the same as the Braves.
Must have been beating up teams pretty good.
Huh? Yeah.
Must have been beating up teams.
I guess, but it's I would be, if I were, I don't know how many true Padres fans there are outside of San Diego, but buddy, if you are one, this has just got to be driving you crazy because you're losing these terrible teams.
Well, there's a lot of teams that are driving people crazy these days.
Well, yeah.
So, we'll leave it at
The
that.
Giants are
Always fun to stay up till, 1 a.m. and watch.
yeah,
your
and
team lose.
it's good too that they give you the late home run to give your hopes up and get you back in the game.
Oh, we knew. We all knew.
It was. I said this earlier when I got on, getting up early and welcoming the 6 o'clockers to the world. I'm sure a lot of the 6 o'clockers just
0-5 on our way to 0-13 against the Giants and Dodgers.
we're 5-0.
Keep rolling.
5-0, trying to get 9-0 against those 3 ne'er do wells we're playing.
Phew.
But last night, you went to sleep about 9 o'clock last night. The Braves are scoreless in the 7th inning, and the other 2 are playing late. You wake up, and the Braves have won 2-0, and the Mets and Phillies have both lost. That's like a little pick-me-up to start your day.
That would be a pick-me-up for you, not necessarily for others. But, yes, the Braves now 8 games over 500. We couldn't get to 8 games over 500. That's what happens when you win 5 in a row. We ought to try that sometime.
Yeah, we got 12 out of 14, too, which is kind of and look, the Phillies, it's only fair to talk about the schedule. And the Phillies got a ton left against the They got 6 with the Diamondbacks left.
Yeah,
They've
lost
got-
to the Diamondbacks.
They've got the Rockies at home. They've got a bunch with the Nats. They got a bunch with the Marlins. They have the most games against the bad teams of any team in the league, 28 of them. So, you got it. That's why losing last night at Arizona is so important, really. You got, the Mets and the Braves need them to lose to those teams.
So it's the Yankees, the Red Sox, and the A's are all now relatively even
Yeah.
for 2 wild card spots.
Wow.
3 for 2. So somebody ain't going to get it. If you had to guess which one, who would you pick?
Yankees.
They wouldn't?
Oh, not going to make it?
Yeah, there's 2 of the
I'd say
3
the Red
will.
Sox. The Red Sox are fading fast.
Yeah,
They're the
Red
one
Sox
that's
are
going the
fading.
wrong way.
Yeah.
Now, I saw want to call him Tito. He's been gone forever. Cora, say after the game last night, look, we just got to win baseball games. We don't need to worry about what's happened here. Every night we know we have a good enough team to go out and win that night, and that's what we got to do. But, you can't mess around just, winning every other game in that division and keep up. And meanwhile, the Rays, just no attention.
7-14 in their last 21 for the Red Sox.
Yeah, basically since
now
the
they
All-Star
have
break.
Texas, Minnesota, Cleveland coming up. So they'll have a chance to make some hay.
Yeah, they need to.
Before they got a lot with Tampa though still, and the Yankees, and
Which is, if you get behind, is
they only
good.
have 3 left with the Yankees after this.
What about the J or the O's? Any left with them?
Just 3.
Yeah, the Orioles.
No,
are,
6.
Yeah, that's what the Orioles right now are as bad as any baseball team that has ever existed while we're alive. They're terrible.
Really?
They've lost 13 in a row.
Ugh.
They're 38-80.
Ugh. Yeah. There's a lot of teams like that, though, Prost. The have-nots, it's weird how that's what happens in baseball.
Yeah, but
So-
the Orioles, here's one more for it. The Orioles have been outscored by 87 runs on this 13-game losing streak.
Oof.
They are losing by an average of 7 runs a game.
Oof.
And by the way, the Braves play them next, and their one good pitcher, that John Means cat, goes today. So hopefully we'll
He
miss
was
him.
gone last night.
Oh, he went last night.
Yeah.
Then we'll get him probably on
I
Sunday.
think I saw him pitching last night. But they lost.
Yeah. 87 outscored by 87 on a 13-game losing streak.
I mean,
that
it's
amazing?
bad when you're 38-67, and then you lose 13 in a row to get to 38-80.
38-80. I mean, how could you like?
Are they going to lose 105, 110 games?
I mean, I've been a baseball fan of bad Braves teams through the years, but man, 38. I mean, what do you even watch for? I mean, when you're that bad, there's not even any promise. Like, even with the Braves and the Mets, when our teams have fallen in the last 20 years, it's been brief and it hasn't been down to that kind of level.
Well, the 62 Mets won 40, lost 120.
Gosh.
So, yes.
So they only got to go 2-40 on the way in. That's
so they
how
ought to
bad
be able
that
to
team was.
bring that thing home.
Yeah, I guess there is a lot of there's still quite a few games, but that 38.
Well, like the Pirates are not going to win. They're going to lose 100. The Diamondbacks are going to lose 100. The O's are going to lose 100. There's 3 teams again.
That's 4. You didn't. Oh wait,
And the Rangers are going to lose 100.
probably.
That's 4 teams that are going to lose 100. And by the way, don't discount the Nats or the Marlins. Marlins have pitching pretty good. They probably ought to avoid it, but
Yeah, they wasted one last night. That guy Alcantara was dealing.
yeah. So anyway, baseball continues on.
Spurrier at practice yesterday.
Yeah, good.
He probably missed you. He spent some time with you on
Oh
Monday.
yeah,
It
we
was
could have
great
went
to
and
see
broke
you.
bread or something.
Great to see you
I
again.
wish he had called me.
Well, I've saved the football fix for when we come back on the other side.
Okay,
Let's
good.
go through some of the other news and notes around the National Football League.
Beef, do we have a prize to give away? We
Oh, you're
racing?
darn tootin'.
What do you got?
Yeah, we're going racing, Danny. I need a number, though.
I'll give
Three
you-
car.
Three car, left turns. 3 car. Call number 3 right now, 641-1010. Gonna go home with a pair of tickets to the Wawa 250. That's coming up Friday, Aug 27 down at Daytona. And don't forget, you can also text the keyword 0, not the number 0, the word 0, Z-E-R-O, to the text line at 641-1010, and you will be entered into the drawing for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400 that following Saturday night, August 28th at Daytona. Caller 3 right now, though. You've got those Wawa 250 tickets on us.